Hey guys, what's up? This is David from Common RDW here, and today on the eShop Stop, we're talking about Dandara. "2017 was an amazing year for Nintendo. Not only did the Switch launch with some of the best first-party content within its first few months of release, we got not one, but 4 new notable video game characters within them. And they were all women of color, yes queen, yes! The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild introduced us to Urbosa, one of the royal champions, and Riju, the Garudian chief. And ARM stunned us all with the 1-2 punch of Twin Tails. And Splatoon 2 really came through with the diversity by giving us Marina, a super groovy Octarian DJ, and the new music group Off the Hook. Seriously, someone over at Nintendo must have been on a chocolate binge or something, but I for sure am not mad at them. But now, adding to that list of representation, we get Dandara, a game that was actually made and heavily influenced by an Afro-Brazilian freedom fighter named Dandara Los Palmares, the wife of well-known Zumbi dos Palmares. Together, Dandara and her husband helped find slave sanctuary in Quilombo dos Palmares. How's that for a history lesson? Seriously, the amount of respect and love of the culture that the devs over at Long Hat House, which is actually located in Brazil, put in their game is commendable. Even on their Twitter, the devs are sharing Easter eggs of how things you notice within the game's art that you think are just basic set pieces or original designs are actually influenced by actual things set in Brazilian culture. The plot is as follows. In the lively and creative world of Salt, yes, Salt, the citizens were free to live and express themselves as they wanted, but then oppression came. Then the light of hope and freedom, which will drive out the darkness, personifies itself as Dandara. The main hook of Dandara is that she doesn't simply navigate her surroundings by running and jumping. Well, she does jump. That's basically all she does. And shooting, there's that too. The way Dandara gets around is she actually jumps from surface to surface like a graceful ninja. But you can't just jump anywhere. You have to aim specifically at marked areas on the ground and plan your movement appropriately. Because of this, getting around becomes a puzzle within itself in finding where the next jumping spot is in certain rooms. And also the aiming of jumps is interesting too because you have your own aiming reticle, but then there's a very handy aim assist, which makes aiming easier for those tricky spots. You can also use touch controls on the Switch, similar to how the game works on mobile, but I obviously opted for the Joy-Con controls as my main interface. Dandara is a mix of 2 very popular video game playstyles that everyone has become fond of over the years. The map of this game is dense, and there's plenty of secret rooms and chests to find, especially later in game when you have to unlock more abilities and backtrack. As far as difficulty goes, it's not unmanageable. I for sure had my moments when I had multiple strings of death and it had me thinking about calling Dandara the Cuphead of Metroidvania games. I won't say Dark Souls. Fuck! This game seriously does have some get good moments for sure though. When you have a lot of obstacles on screen and you have to zen out and avoid getting hit and also defend yourself, you can feel the rush. Also, the added stress of the familiar you level up by collecting a type of currency, and if you die you lose it all, then you have one chance to go back and get it to where you died, and if you die on the way there then you lose everything formula is a good touch that gets even more stressful with the jumping mechanic. Also, the similarities to a very popular rage game don't stop there. You also have essences of salt that you can use while out exploring to restore health in sticky situations, as well as stamina. Combat in Dandara is cool too. She has a more flexible aiming radius when shooting than jumping, so that's really handy. Also, the fact that her primary weapon is basically a soul arrow shotgun, that's dope as hell, dude. There are plenty of enemies and obstacles that you'll run into that'll keep you on your toes for sure. There are ones that'll shoot at you, ones that'll charge at you if you get close enough, turrets, tanks, evil heads, you know, the basic stuff. I don't really have much of any issues with Dandara except maybe a few gameplay elements, but that's mainly just me wanting too much maybe. Like for example, I love the gravity shifting mechanic and how when you go into certain parts of a room you'll come in through the top and then the room will rotate so everything is right side up for you. So then you're looking at the map and you're trying to figure out where you are in a room, and it takes a second because there's no actual icon showing Dandara's specific point on the map, just the room she's in. So that can get a little off-putting sometimes, but I found myself checking the map a little bit more than I would have wanted to. Also the aim assist. I understand it's there to help making navigation easier, but sometimes it pointed a little off from where I would have wanted to go and put me in a very fatal position, but that didn't happen too much to where it was a big problem. And those were the main 2 issues really. Like I said, super minimal stuff. Dandara is only $14.99 on the eShop and basically every other gaming platform across the board, PC, PS4, Xbox, and even mobile. But if buying it on Switch means I can hop from any of the previously mentioned games and this one, you already know what I'm buying it on. Dandara was first shown in the Nindies Direct back in 2017, only to be released a year later. This game is one of those prime examples of what indie devs on the Switch can accomplish. I hope that all those other early preview Nindies that we haven't gotten yet are on par with Dandara when they're released. If so, then 2018 is going to be a great year for Nindies. Well, how'd you like the video? If you like this episode of the eShop Stop, feel free to leave a like and also comment down below if you're also playing Dandara or you choose to pick it up. And be sure to subscribe to Comment RDW for future episodes of the eShop Stop and ring that bell to get live notifications when more episodes of the eShop Stop go live.